Hey guys, this is Mayan Gordon. We are live at 5. Thank you guys so much for joining me yet again. If you are here, you know what to do. Leave a comment. Where are you watching from? What is one thing that you're grateful for today? Shout out to people on LinkedIn. You are an awesome crowd. Shout out to my people on YouTube. We're just getting going, and you guys are definitely helping me out. And my Facebook homies who've been around for the longest, shout out to you guys too. All right, I'm going to pull up the comments here on LinkedIn, and I can see them here on my StreamYard for YouTube and Facebook. How are you guys doing today, by the way? Let me know. How are you guys doing? Today has been a really fantastic day over here at the Gordon House, I guess you would call it. And I got a lot done in terms of productivity. I was able to provide a lot of value to people today, which always feels really good. You guys, that's what I've learned. If you can figure out what value you can provide other people, and as long as you're doing that every single day, you will not have a bad day. Even if you didn't get any closer towards your covering your bills, even if whatever your personal relationship circumstances haven't changed, being able to provide value to people makes you feel good, and you just can't help but feel good from it. So figure out what value you can provide to other people on a daily basis, and you'll be so much closer towards being super happy, super energized every single day. What's up, Latasha? We got David in the house and Chris. Do I go live on TikTok? Yes, great question. We are here to talk about TikTok today, you guys. And yeah, I do live streams on TikTok. I really can only handle, I would say, maximum like 2 hours of live streaming. For me, that would be a really huge energy commitment for me. When I'm doing live streaming, I have to perform at a higher energy level because energy gets dissipated through the screen. Literally, the energy is less through the screen than it is in person. And so you have to amplify when you're doing, acting, when you're doing hosting, when you're doing live streaming, because people aren't there in person to feel you. So I can only handle maximum 2 hours. Normally my live streams go between, I'll do like 15 minutes to 45 minutes. That's kind of my sweet spot. Like 45 minutes is if I'm working on a really cool glass blowing piece. I usually do it while I'm blowing glass because that's a very visual thing. It's like what my TikTok account is all about. If you're just joining for the first time, welcome. Thank you. My TikTok account is World of Glass. Feel free to go check it out. But it's all about glass blowing. I'm a glass blower. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a business owner, but I'm certainly an artist, and I've definitely been an artist for most of my life, even if I didn't really recognize it. I thought that because I sucked at drawing, I wasn't an artist, but I did a lot of ceramics in high school, and there's definitely, I look back, lots of other art tendencies that I had, even just with, the clothes I picked out or the different, ways I organized my room. So TikTok is a really interesting beast because their live streaming is so interactive. I get thousands of comments during a live stream because it's literally constant. There is not a second where comments are not coming in. Now, a lot of the comments I think adults might consider like garbage or like nonsense or useless, or really just attention driving or attention seeking. But it's meaningful that people are having conversation and engaging, because the rate and the level to which people will become loyal to you is tied to number of communications. The more times someone has a conversation with someone else, the more deeply tied to that person they're going to feel. It's just a natural response. It maybe doesn't make sense if you think about it logically. Why should we be better friends? Or like, why should I trust you more? Just because I've had more numbers of conversations. But that's how we work. We're like, I'm much more familiar with that person. I'm more loyal to that person. I trust that person more. So the live streaming on TikTok, I think, is such a beneficial feature. If you're on TikTok and you have access to it, I think you have to have 1,000 followers at least. But you should absolutely be using it. I try and do it every day, but like sometimes I don't, because sometimes I don't have time to blow glass when I'm focused on my consultation in media business. Like for me, that comes first. The glass blowing comes second right now. But when I do it, even 15 minutes, I'm going to get well over 1,000 people in the live stream. Typically, I'll get between 2,500 to like 6,000 people. If I'm doing one of those longer ones that's over an hour, I'll get 5,000 to 6,000 people in the live stream total. Now, at one given time, that tends to be between, let's say, 150 and 300 people that are actively in, right? During a 45-minute stream, most of the people are not watching for all 45 minutes. There's people coming in, people coming out. That's how live streaming works. At any given time, right? Just like on LinkedIn right now, it says there's 6 people watching, but when it's done, there's going to say that there's, let's say, 72 views. So live streaming on TikTok, I say go for it, do it. Live streaming in general is going to be something that's bigger and bigger, a contributing factor to marketing and to how people engage in digital space. People like to engage in live streams instead of having to go to a static platform like Facebook, where you have to look through and scroll and do all this activity, right? A live stream, the content's popping up for you. You don't necessarily have to scroll through it. It's kind of a little bit more interactive that way. And then there's also, excuse me, you guys, I have a little bit of dry mouth and I forgot to grab some water. I got a little bit. In case you didn't know, talking makes your mouth dry. With the live streaming, I think there's also research you can get out of it. If you're a business like me, I can go on a live stream and I can ask my customers, I can say, what do you guys want me to make? I usually shout out my Etsy store. I just launched an Etsy store less than 2 weeks ago, probably 2 weeks ago. I've got like 14 listings. So like not doing a super huge amount with it, but I am during my live streams letting people know, hey, if you guys are interested to buy anything, and I'm kind of training them this way. I'm getting them used to where they should go when there is going to be a lot of glass, or when they do really see something that they want, they're going to know to go to my store because I've said it hundreds of times in the live streams that they've watched, right? Like that repetitiveness is very, very meaningful. And live streaming gives you a chance to be incredibly repetitive without being at all annoying. I can shout out my Etsy probably like 10 times in a 45-minute live stream without it being annoying at all. People are just like, okay, cool, that's awesome. Right. It just reminds them. And as long as you do it in a way, again, where you're not like, go to my store. You're like, hey guys, you got to put a little bit of energy into it so that it's giving them something outside of maybe just saying, hey, go to the store. But you're like, hey guys, don't forget, if you're awesome, go to the store. So figuring out what your brand sounds like and how it communicates in a way that engages people regardless of what you're saying, I think is something maybe to look at, especially with TikTok when you have such a short time frame. It's something you can practice on your feed with these 10-second videos and then get really, really good at through the live streaming as well. What's up, Big John? How's it going? Chad, hope you're having a great day. You guys are awesome. Appreciate all the comments. So other things that are going on with TikTok I wanted to discuss with you guys. One would be education. A lot of people ask me about, is TikTok good for anything other than, the dancing videos, and maybe they see a little bit of the art videos, but they're really just uncertain about what's out there on TikTok. And there is a huge, huge education category. 99 billion, it might be 100 billion now, let me check. For hashtag EduTalk. So EduTalk is like educational TikTok, right? Combined into one word, EduTalk. And it's a hashtag that people use for educational content that's on TikTok. I'm just looking it up right now here on my phone to see. Yep, 100 billion. I thought so. 100.4 billion views across hashtag EduTalk. And I think I can show it to you guys. Hard to see the top part because of the white screen, but you can see lots and lots of videos. And education is really important to TikTok because they understand that everyone values learning, no matter who you are, what your race, what your ethnicity, social status, economical status. Everyone values learning to some degree. Even if you're someone who doesn't value academic learning, you definitely value some other type of learning. Maybe it's learning about sports. And you could consider that academic, I think, in some degree. But maybe it's learning about something that you wouldn't traditionally consider like learning, but everything that we do, everything we enjoy centers around learning. And because of that, TikTok is really putting an emphasis on making sure that that content gets viewed. So I believe, again, no, I don't work for TikTok. In case you don't know, I'm just a entrepreneur and a business owner, and I have my own social media company. But I do have a lot of kind of insights and ideas and thoughts that I like to share. You guys, I'm a social scientist, and I come up with lots of hypotheses. And I think it's really fun to talk to people about your different ideas and get people's feedback. Sometimes my idea will spark someone else's really good idea. Maybe my idea is not the good idea, but when I say it to someone else, they get the really good idea, and I still got to be a part of it. And it's a really amazing feeling. So this is all to say, you guys should share more of your good ideas, whether you think they're really, really good or not. Maybe you saying it to someone else is going to spark a good idea in their head. And then it'll all have been worthwhile. So I think that TikTok is giving through the algorithm. So here's what I think about the algorithm. It's a software or a program, right? That's very, very complex and deeply built. But I imagine that they make tweaks to it, right? The same way that Instagram has been able to change its algorithm, TikTok must be able to tweak its algorithm at will. I imagine that's a thing now in social media space, that they all can do that. They can tweak the algorithm. They understand their coding well enough. They've experimented and played with it enough to be able to make small tweaks. Now, I imagine that they've made a small tweak towards towards education, just because, right? The category is so big, 100 billion views. And it's hard to think that there's that much more educational content being posted. I'm curious to see like what would hashtag dancing or dance be. Let's look to compare. We're doing research together, you guys. That's something I definitely want to start doing a little bit on these shows, is with TikTok. We're going to do some research together. I can tell you my on the spot insights. You guys can, if you want, follow along with me. So on my TikTok, I am going to the Discover and I am typing in dance. And then I'm going to go over to hashtags. Okay, dance is bigger. It is bigger. It's got 138.7 billion views right now. But that's how close education is. So I don't know if there's as much education content as there is dancing content, and for it to be kind of inherently geared towards dancing and music. I think that means that there's probably like a little bonus that you might get towards educating people, if even not from the algorithm tweak, but just from the fact that people like to learn, right? So you get a bonus of people liking your video if you taught them something on any level. Even if you taught them something kind of stupid, like even when you come across a video and you're like, ooh, I knew that, you still kind of like the video because you knew it and it supported something that you already knew, which made you feel smart. You're like, I already knew it, so I'm smart. I like that video. And it's a little subliminal way to get people to like your content. I am going to about wrap it up for today's show. Let me know if you guys have any last minute questions. And as a reminder, I will put up my contact info. If you guys need to get in touch with me, you have any questions, you own a business, you want to grow your personal brand, please reach out to me. I'd love to figure out how I could help you. See if I have any last minute comments here. I accidentally went out of the screen. What's up, Jeremy from Wisconsin? Ooh, we got a question. How do you think we can better implement the use of social media in the traditional educational market? So I think, by realizing that video is a wonderful way for people to learn through, maybe there has to be accompanying, written work, or maybe there has to be accompanying, I don't know, other type of work that's done accompanied with the video. But I think people learn really, really well through video, especially when the emotional aspect is integrated into it. So you can do a really good job of constructing emotion through a video in a purposeful way to go, I want people to feel this way when they watch this video. even to the point I want people to feel empowered when they watch this video. So watching a video that's educational and empowering at the same time, I think is super valuable for learning. So take those two concepts, education, empowerment, and combine them in a video. And I think you've got a really great way to, let's say, show kids how to do a math problem. It could be supplemental to, let's say, a teacher teaching on a whiteboard and showing it one way, and then letting their kids also look at their phones, because the kids want to look at the phones anyways. Let them look at the phone and then make them put the phone away and then do the math problem, and see if some of them absorbed it better from that second method. I think there's like lots of ways that teachers could get really creative if they were given a bit of freedom to incorporate social media. Like, give the teachers some guidelines maybe, as to like, here's what's okay, here's what's not okay, and let them be creative on them figuring out how to use social media. They're already on social media. All the teachers are, if they're not at least creating it, they have an account, or they're watching, content that their students or their family is watching as well and talking to them about. So I think there's so much opportunity out there, especially in the educational space, for people to get creative about how do you incorporate a TikTok video? How do you make a TikTok video and have that be an educational process? There's a lot that people can focus on that is really a positive thing about TikTok. Now, of course, there's going to be negative things, like there's still inappropriate content on there. As hard as they're going to try, there's probably always going to be inappropriate content on some level if there's a platform that has 2 billion plus users on it. There's also, let's say, some really silly, like maybe ridiculous content on there that you find obnoxious or annoying. But there's also a group of people who really enjoy that content. So do those people deserve entertainment? Sure, why not? It's unfortunate that the app hasn't figured out not to show it to you yet, but I think it's still very young as an AI software, and the older it gets, the smarter it gets. So, in a couple years, hopefully it won't show new users content that they don't like even from the get-go. But education, think about what makes kids learn. I think TikTok's a great reflective tool. It makes you think, what am I doing as a teacher? What am I doing effectively? What visually are the kids connecting with? How do I communicate to them in a shorter time frame? Like, should kids really be learning for 8 hours a day? I don't know. I think that's something we should talk about and maybe ask amongst ourselves. Like, I don't know if you as an adult have a solid 8-hour attention span. I don't. That's part of why I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not going to function that well in an 8-hour straight workday. I need breaks. I will function so much better, be so much more productive if I have half-hour breaks or hour-long breaks, kind of whenever I am deciding I need them based on my energy levels. Of course, I have a set schedule that I have to stick to, and sometimes I'm tired and I got to go to a meeting anyways. But I think that kids shouldn't be forced every single day to do that, to go, oh my God, it's the afternoon now, I'm exhausted and I don't want to pay attention. So like they don't have the skills yet to go, I'm going to do it anyways. Most of them go, whatever, let me zone out, or let me not pay attention. Or they just dislike it, right? It makes them hate school and hate certain aspects of learning that and confuse them. They go, I don't like school, I don't like learning, when really they love learning. Maybe they would love school if it wasn't for 8 hours a day. Like maybe kids would freaking love school if it was 2-hour chunks at a time. Again, I have no idea. I'm just putting it out there as questions that I would love for people to talk about and ask. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much. As always, you can get in touch with me at the email address right there, or through LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you see the name Maayan. Have a great night, guys.